Good day everyone, a very warm welcome to you. My name is Nick. It's time for another instalment of games reviewed on the channel, this time concentrating on the Mega Drive. So without further ado, let's have me talking for about 20 odd minutes. It's Sega Mega Drive games or Genesis, depending on where you are in the world, games reviewed from 101 on the channel through to 150. And we start with Ferrari Grand Prix Challenge, a fairly decent racer. It's got pretty good frame rate there. Half the screen seems to be taking up the map and the time. Everything with Ferrari generally is a bit more expensive, but it's a regular price game. The sound of this sounds a little bit familiar with Nigel Mansell on the Commodore Amiga, but it's fairly okay if you're into Formula 1 and Ferrari. You can't go too far wrong with this. We'll see a few races in this 50 we go through. A quality platformer game, VECTORMAN, did have a sequel. I love the animation on this. Good graphics and good ender level bosses. It is rather tricky for the newbie, but there are different levels of play in difficulty there. Collect all those stars and you've got various upgrades as well. Shoot all the cameras and just proceed as far as you possibly can. It's a good game, VECTORMAN. I think it's one of the best ones on the Mega Drive for sure. Good stuff. World Cup Italia 1990, based on the World Cup from, well, 1990. It's trying to be a bit like Kickoff 2 on the Commodore Amiga, not quite getting there, but that having said, it's pretty good fun nonetheless. It doesn't move at 100 miles an hour, but it's top-down arcade sort of like football. There are better games on other different systems, but in 2-player you would have had a bit of fun with it. Not sure about the celebration graphics here, they could have been a bit better. But anyway, it's your bog standard football and it does what it can. VECTORMAN 2 builds off the success of the first game. Some criticisms of this one are it's a little bit dark, but I don't mind it to that degree. I just think it's got improved lighting. Same sort of thing as the first game. You've got to rid this planet of rubbish, I think, or you've gone back to Earth and everything's like mutated and particularly evil. But essentially, like a lot of these platform games, just blast the hell out of everything for as much and as long as you possibly can. I don't think many people would have completed this one, but it's fun nonetheless. Mario Andretti Racing takes a different view to Ferrari Grand Prix. It's a split screen. You can play against a computer or a friend of theirs there. I like the split screen. You can see what's behind you and try and block drivers as they come through. Bit of a narrow track this one, but a number of races. Mario Andretti won the Formula 1 World Championship in the 70s, I believe, then went over to INDYCAR and now has his own racing team. Hurrah! Battletoads, now this isn't particularly good in my opinion, although some people would like it. It's trying to be a little bit of Golden Axe meets the Ninja Mutant Turtles, but not quite getting there. But you know, it's a little bit fun can be had, but not one to be taken too seriously. It's got the barge moves there, a bit like Golden Axe as you go on this adventure, and some of the levels are a little bit different as you go through. It's not always 2D horizontal scrolling, there's a bit of vertical scrolling as well. Midnight Resistance from the arcades. It's one of your standard shooters, again very tricky, come out on a large number of systems, and I do like it, the version on the Mega Drive as well. Well worth checking out this one if you're into your no-nonsense shooter games, but you're going to need a bit of practice, don't expect to be good straight away. Here's an ender level boss that you need to destroy. He's one of the easy ones, but this is level 1. If you completed this, then well done. It's a game that goes on forever and ever and ever. Again, it's tricky to complete. Street Racer, heavily influenced by Mario cars on the Super Nintendo, of course, but this does a fairly good job. As expected, you've got different drivers you can select. You've got different power-ups in each of their cars. It takes a while to get used to the turning of this, but once you do, you'll be driving very fast. Come out on a number of systems, this one. Reviewed it on the Commodore Amiga and the Super Nintendo as well. Once you get used to it, it's good, but it would infuriate a lot of people with the handling of the thing. Gods, more commonly aware on the Commodore Amiga. It's good to see the Mega Drive version. It moves ever so slightly different, but the graphics are there. The levels seem to be essentially the same. Prefer it on the Commodore Amiga, but you know, if you wanted Gods and you had the Mega Drive, then this is a good one to get. The Bitmap Brothers, good sounds in this one. Got additional music. Also, you've got to complete a different number of missions set by the gods. I don't know why they couldn't do them themselves. So you're the god slave to try and rescue the world. world. Prince of Persia. Now, this is a good old game that I also played a lot on the Commodore Amiga. The Mega Drive looked pretty good. It's got added colours on the thing. You must rescue a princess from the evil Jafar against the clock by jumping on ledges and solving clues. The animation in this is absolutely unbelievable. Really good back in the day. Got fantastic reviews there. It's a bit of a head scratcher. You could waste, well, not waste really. You could spend a lot of time on this one trying to work out what to do. WOLFCHILD, great arcade style here. You control a man trying to beat a curse, but in the end you're just shooting everything. When you get a power up, you can turn into this wolf and fire stuff. Very, very fast moving. I love the backgrounds on this. You know, if it was an arcade game, I would have stuck lots and lots of change into the thing. The Mega Drive really has a lot of great games to it. It really has a lot of power. The games that are done well. WOLFCHILD. Rah. Aladdin, based on the film Aladdin, which starred Robin Williams as the genie. Again, your princess rescuing here, and why not? Great animation on this game, got really a lot of character. This is probably the best version I played, come out on the Amiga as well. You know, look at the animation on that camel there. I'm not sure how far you're going to get. Another one that requires quite a lot of practice, but lots to like in this quality shooter puzzler game, platformer game, and a whole lot of fun. QUACKSHOT. Now, a lot of people like this. I thought it could be a lot better. You control Donald Duck as he goes across the world. He can fire these like sink plunges at people, and yes, basically just complete each level. It's more basic than VECTORMAN and VECTORMAN 2, but younger players would have enjoyed this game a bit, I would have thought. I thought elements of it were quite infuriating, but maybe it wasn't aimed at my sort of like age group. Might have played it a bit in the day, but not a huge amount. Thunder Force 2. Thunder Force 1 didn't come out on the Mega Drive to my knowledge, but you control this ship, you must clear different sectors, and there's a whole heap of power-ups through here to get your team into. We'll look at others in the Thunder Force series in this 50 as we go. If you're liking any of these snippets, then do check out the full review. I'll give you a whole lot more information than what I'm giving you here. This is like an index, really, but it's got the Mega Drive has got a whole heap of really good shooters. Sonic the Hedgehog, probably the most famous game on the Mega Drive. This was their flagship character. Well, prior to that, it was Alex Kidd. Moves very, very fast, a bit too fast for me. But there are experts there are speed runs, and there's a whole host of Sonic games now, going all the way up to Sonic the Hedgehog 4, and lots of spin-offs as well, like Sonic Spinball, which I think we might have covered in one of the other roundups there. Good old Sonic, go, 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 you hedgehog fool. Thunder Force 3, different to Thunder Force 2, now it's turned into a conventional horizontal scroller shooter, but look at the speed of the thing, great power-ups. Again, I do prefer this 2D horizontal scrolling sort of like way forward rather than the top-down stuff, but it's really, really good to see. These Thunder Force games just kept getting better and better as you went through. Yeah, it knocks the Amiga for 6 with the power of these shooters, I have to admit. Fatal Fury 2, influenced of course like all of these fighters with the original Street Fighter 2. It plays a lot like that as well. Selection of characters, pick your best one, learn the special moves, and then beat the other person. Now, Fatal Fury is a good series. There might be a few other ones we can come to. I think there's Splatterhouse as well we need to look at. But yeah, if you like Street Fighter 2 and you want an alternative with different characters, you'll probably like Fatal Fury 2 as well. Time for some more Thunder Forcing. Builds on the success of the first two games, in particular the third one. Got even more power-ups you can wave a stick at. Different worlds and places to go. So fans of Thunder Force 3 would like Thunder Force 4. If you're not into your horizontal scroller shooters, then give this one a wide berth and play something else. Maybe like Sonic the Hedgehog or something like that. We've reviewed lots of games on the channel. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. Hooray! Right, NEWMAN has INDYCAR featuring Nigel Mansell. This is like the sequel unofficial to Nigel Mansell's Formula 1, and it plays pretty much the same as that. Nigel Mansell, after become world champion in 1992 of Formula 1, he went over to INDYCAR in the very next year with the NEWMAN Haas team and become champion there as well. Moves lightning fast this game, great sounds to the thing also. I prefer it to Ferrari Formula 1 because it's more of a cockpit feeling view. and probably the quickest moving one out of the bunch. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, more levels, more speed, more everything than the original game. Sold absolutely heaps and heaps and heaps and heaps of games. This time you can control either Sonic the Hedgehog or his accomplice Tails, which I think is a fox of some description. And yes, just go as quickly as you can. You do speed runs, collect rings, but if you bash into any of the enemies, you'll lose your rings, and you know, and that'll probably be disastrous. Don't do that, folks. FIFA Soccer 95. This is like right at the beginning of the FIFA soccer games, more or less. It's like an isometric view, feels very arcadey. Watch this goal, folks. Boof! Boom! Get in! Some great celebrations in this game as well. FIFA has really changed a lot, but I prefer this era really, when the players were indistinct and there was less DLCs and paying for packs and all that sort of stuff. This is the FIFA's heyday, in my opinion. Soccer 95. TOEJAM and EARL. Now this is a very weird game. You control either TOEJAM or EARL, and I don't think too many people knew what was going on here, but you're wandering around a map like that, picking up power-ups and, you know, just wandering around really. I'm sure there's a lot more to it, but a lot of kids would have enjoyed this game without really knowing too much what's going on. They're a cool duo, but we're collecting parts of like a time machine or a spaceship, I think. If you've completed this game, then good luck to you, because it's beyond my brain. Sonic the Hedgehog 3, you know it's a sequel to Sonic the Hedgehog 2, don't you? So if you like those first two, you'll like this. Bigger levels, Dr. Robotnik is here again to try and destroy the day. Lots of loot to loop in, various levels, different worlds to go through, and different moves. Also, it's probably the best of the Sonic games. The first one had great resonance, but this is awesome as well. I think we're waiting for an end-level boss to come up. It might be Dr. Robotnik. Here he comes, the nincompoop. PGA Tour Golf. Now, if you want a slower type of game, go for this. The PGA Tour series run for quite a few. I'm not sure we've covered any of the others as of yet, but it's all about getting your different timings with your golf swing as you hit this square ball quite often into the rough like I did. I really like this game. Golfing fans couldn't have done too much better than this back in the day. Selecting your club, aim, make allowance for the wind, and choose your silly colour of trousers. Jimmy White's Whirlwind Snooker, well known on the Commodore Amiga, and particularly the Amiga 1200. This one plays, I'm pleased to say, exactly the same as that. Takes a bit of practice, so the newbie won't be doing too well, but you can play against the computer. There's different skill levels, and I played against an opponent who was hopeless, so at least I had half a chance. This is probably, in my opinion, still the best snooker game you can get. You might think of a different one now, but just for the pure retro value, look at that pot. You can't beat this. Sword of SODAN. Now this, it's got bold graphics, but I hate the gameplay. It looks way too basic. It's like someone's waving a bit of clip art on deluxe paint on the Commodore Amiga. Some people might like this game if you've got good childhood memories. Go with Golden Axe. They've got it all right there. This is just 2D. You can't move up and down the screen, and you get surrounded quite easily. And it's just this stabbing move that I was doing all the time. Poor on the Amiga, poor on the Mega Drive. That's what I think, but the screenshots may have fooled a few people. Rise of the Robots. You can only control one character here, despite there being a vast array of robots to get. It's very difficult. It's quite cumbersome to control as well. And, you know, go for Fatal Fury 2 as we looked at earlier, or Street Fighter 2. It's a good idea, but it just doesn't work very well. And some of the enemy are very hard to destroy. You haven't got too much time to defeat your opponent, and, you know, it suffers there. Gameplay is not particularly good. Don't get fooled by the screenshots. Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, it plays a Smooth Criminal all the way through, but I've had to edit it out because I got hit by a copyright claim. Oh God, Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? Do the music yourself, and hopefully they don't copyright you through the window. Michael Jackson's Got to Rescue Kids. Well, I don't know what to say about that. But he's got special moves, dance moves where it can kill all the baddies. So it's basically exploring everywhere you can and rescuing everyone. Hooray! Hee hee! Oh dear, that didn't sound very well. I need a cough sweet. Monopoly, good to play at Christmas. There's me getting beat probably by the computer. But you know about Monopoly, don't you? You go around the board, trading for properties and trying to bankrupt all your friends. So what could be more fun than that? As Monopoly goes, this is good. My favourite version is on the PlayStation 3, Monopoly Streets, but that's far in advance of this. This one is pretty good fun. You can play on your own, and there's Makes it, a lot of us did play it on our own because we should have been going out doing other stuff. FIFA 98, Road to the World Cup, a little bit after FIFA 95, obviously. It's still using the same view, but the players are a little bit quicker. But still, you still don't know who the individual players are. Most of the time, you're kicking up and down trying to fluke a goal until you've got a bit of practice. Much better in two-player, but builds off the success of FIFA 95. It's a lot quicker. Am I going to get a goal now? I think we are. Boof! Take that, big nose, as you often say when you score a goal. Better celebrations as well. Cool Spot is a platformer. Cool Spot is the logo, or used to be the logo, on the 7-Up cans on that brand. It's very original, this game. It's not overly difficult also, which I like to see. Good music, it's a lot of fun, but basically it's a lesson in advertising, isn't it, really? Avoid all those dodges, go as far as you can. It's quite good level design on this one. The things you're firing is sort of like fizzy air bubbles. Cool Spot, a good one that's come out on multiple systems. Batman. Now the music for me in this game didn't really match up to Batman the movie, which starred Michael Keaton as the Bat, but it's a platformer. It's okay. It's better than some of the other Batman games, of which there's quite a few bad ones on various systems, but it's not too bad without blowing my socks off. You've got the Batarang there and the grappling hook to go up different levels, but some poor level design. Sometimes you can get a bit stuck. Cannon Fodder, an epic game on a number of systems there. You control a few troops over different levels. You must direct them to destroy your enemy. You get, it's point and click this one, you get different missions like blow up houses or blow up vehicles like that. And different terrains like island and mountains, ice, and basically you must try and make your whole platoon survive while taking out all the enemy, firing grenades and all that sort of guff. Go, 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 Jops, Jules and Stu. Batman Returns, very, very dark this game. Probably about as dark as VECTORMAN 2. It's a bit trickier than the previous Batman game, although I do prefer it. We're going over the rooftops first of all for a fight with Catwoman. But there's lots of different stages in this involving driving the Batcar, or the Batmobile I should say, its proper name, and also the Batcopter, or the Batwing. I didn't get too far on this one, but you know, Batman Returns, Michael Keaton again as the Batman, and Danny DeVito as the Joker. Beast Ball, basically it's a 2D sort of like sports game, and you're battling a bit like Speedball 2. You must go through the leagues and end up being champions. You can upgrade your players as you would expect, but basically either score the most goals or decapitate all your opposing team. So it's good, clean fun. The pitch will beat up a bit, and yeah, there's blood everywhere in this game. Hooray! Pete Sampras, tennis, good speech in this game. Pete Sampras is nowhere to be seen. There's a lot of fictitious players in this one. You can choose to be a male player or female player, do doubles or singles. Here I am playing as Betty Booth. Do check out the review of that. And it's not as hard as some tennis games. You can get a bit used to it there. Yeah, a very, very good one. We've got the Pete Sampras licence. The only other tennis game I think we've reviewed is Jennifer Capriati's Wimbledon and Andre Agassi. Earthworm Jim, yeah, based on a cartoon, I think. It's an earthworm in a spacesuit. I found this a lot trickier than VECTORMAN. It's got good graphics, of course, but I prefer VECTORMAN. I couldn't get used to that tongue weapon to actually attack stuff. But, you know, again, it's good fun. A lot to do. There is a sequel to this one also. It's one for skilled platformers of this rather than someone who just drops in, and I play a lot of these games as I would do the noob. Virtua Racing moves a heck of a lick. I do like racing games. I prefer ones like Nigel Mansell and NEWMAN HARS than these vector-based ones, but you know, it grabs the style of the arcades really, really well. You need lightning reflexes for this. Version did come out on the SEGA Mega CD, which I'm told is a bit smoother, so it might be worth trying it on that one. But it's going to do your eyes in a little bit. You need to keep blinking and focus on the track. But good arcade racing against the clock. Combat cars, top-down racing with different weapons, moves a lot quicker than supercars on the Commodore Amiga, that is for sure. It is good fun and it's doable. You've got your lap there on the left and your rank. You need to come in the top, I think it's either 2 or 3, or maybe you need to win it. A thumping soundtrack all the way through, it works quite good. Easier than Micro Machines, which annoyed me to a degree, and I was quite a good fan of this one. Combat Cars, it's a good name, and you will see a few tracks rather than getting stuck all the time. The kickboxing, this is a fighting game, comes out as Panzer Kickboxing on the Commodore Amiga. It plays more or less the same. There's different opponents, but the graphics are the same, and the fighting moves are the same, only with just a few differences. You've got lights either side, which represent what strength you've got left, so just floor your opponent, go through the belts, and win everything, and be the world champion. You can train your boxer. Also, you can redefine what moves on the joystick, differentiate what moves you do on the screen. Real nice to see. Bimini Run, this game got very annoying very quickly for me. Speech repeats itself quite often. The water on the sea, because a lot of the stages are a bit like this, made me a little bit ill. Some people might have liked it. It's trying to be arcadey. I think it's like trying to be Chase HQ on water, really. And for me, it doesn't quite work, only because I can't look at the screen too long before having to turn away or maybe load something else. There's more fun to be had in other games, in my opinion. Mega SWIV, based on, well, SWIV on the Commodore Amiga. This has got multiple colours, it moves quite fast, you can scroll slightly left and slightly right. If you're into your shooters, you can't go too far wrong with this one. Mega SWIV is a very, very accomplished game there. Power-ups to collect, the levels never end, they just keep going on and on and on till you actually finish. I'm not sure how long it will take to complete this game, but a very, very long time. Just shoot everything and don't get shot yourself. Championship Pro AM, an isometric racer. Really fun to play this. I enjoyed it a bit more than Combat Cars, to tell you the truth, because it's, you know, it's more in that style of, I don't know, Super Off-Road Racer, that sort of angle. Although Super Off-Road Racer was single screen, this is scrolling all over the place. You haven't got too much screen to work with, so you have to react pretty quickly, but there's some helpful arrows on there to guide you through. And also as well, it doesn't start off too difficult, so you'll be winning the first few races and then get into a sort of like rhythm. Alex Kidd in the Enchanted Castle, this was Sega's flagship character before Sonic the Hedgehog turned up, so this is a very, very early game there. It's 2D scrolling. The nearest game I suppose you can have to this is Super Mario. And you advance by getting upgrades like pogo sticks by playing this paper, scissors, stone sort of like game, which will help in future levels. It's more of a hit, this character, on the Master System, so it just carried through to the Mega Drive, which was new at the time. Outrunners, a great instalment of the Outrun series. They've gone back with the original music. It's split screen versus a computer opponent. There's different cars to select, more than any other of the Outruns. I didn't think I was going to enjoy this one, but I do, because it brings back more of the classic original, where Turbo Outrun and Outrun 2019 had maybe lost a bit of its way. You can have good fun with this one, especially if there's a player 2 there. If there isn't, well, no problem, just play against the computer. Fantasia, now we were spoiled a bit with the other Disney games, and this is the poor relation. World Evolution and Castle Evolution are much better Mickey Mouse games. The graphics on this is okay, the sound is from the movie Fantasia, but I thought it was too difficult. The collision detection was a bit iffy, and it looks like once you get past level 1, all the fun's had anyway that was there, and you've got this foreground that just gets in the way too much with these big pillars. It's poorly designed, but graphics are pretty good. Batman Forever, probably the worst Batman game playability wise of the 3 I've looked at. The sprites are bigger, the graphics are bigger, and it's used digitalised captured motion to try and get forward, but the pacing is really, really bad. We've got lots of these guys to fight like a Mortal Kombat game, and also as well it takes ages to get anywhere, and the music is a bit of an odd selection as well. It doesn't quite feel like a Batman game, it could have been anything. Star Trek The Next Generation, this is like an adventure game in space where you must solve a mystery. You're in a race against the Romulans to find some hidden super weapon, and you know, it might be a bit more fun to play this with a walkthrough or a playthrough, otherwise it's a bit hit and miss. But if you're a fan of Star Trek The Next Generation, you'd like this. Next Generation, Echoes of the Past. Data's there, all your favourite characters. Picard looking a bit symmetrical there, don't know what's happened there. Riker and Troy. Fun car array. Now I'm told this is a prototype to combat cars, which would make sense because this doesn't play quite as well. I think maybe it's a little bit too quick to be loved. Combat cars have slowed it down ever so slightly, and that works a bit better. Fun car rally. I didn't have too much fun here, but anyway, I've chose a bets which is where I wasn't looking too bad, and you can see how bad I was then. Fun car rally. You can have a fun time. Sort of, limited, not long. And the last game is Toy Story, based on the movie Toy Story. Really accomplished this game, designed by SEGA GENESIS. You control Woody over a number of levels. This one we're just rescuing the different toys here. Follows the plot of the movie very loosely. I don't think Toy Story 2 come out, but younger players would have liked this one, and I quite liked it myself. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but if you're a fan of the movie, you'd really love this one as well. So yeah, thank you for watching that. It's good to have a bit of a recap. Please subscribe if you haven't already. So that was games on the Mega Drive reviewed on the channel 101 to 150. If you liked any of those, do check out the full reviews and show them some love. Until next time, take great care of yourself and a very fond goodbye.
Goodbye.